Yes, sir. Please, while Sister Annie, can we take the national anthem, please? That's the first stanza. Control. We adopt the first stanza as our prayer, please. And all shall say, Amen. Thank you very much. Please, those at the far end of the hall, can you please move forward? We want to see that the seats in front are all occupied. Thank you very much. The Chairman Chief Executive of the NDLA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Mara, retired CNOFR, our special guest of honor, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, SCN, ably represented here this morning by the Director, Public Prosecution of the Federation, Mr. Mohammed Abubakar, Agency Secretary, Special Advisors, Directors of the agency, our invited guests, members of the IMC, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, would like to welcome you to this Inter-Ministerial Committee on Drug Control meeting. Right about now, we'd like to start by getting us familiar with the safety tips of this facility that we're using this morning. And so I will invite the control room to please play us a short clip on the safety clip of this hall. Thank you.
Welcome to T.Y. Buratai Auditorium, Army War College, Nigeria. Before acquainting you with the safety instructions, please permit me to orient you with T.Y. Buratai Auditorium. The auditorium is located on the second floor of the college complex extension. There are two staircases from the ground floor leading to the T.Y. Buratai Auditorium. These are staircase A by the reception and staircase B slightly ahead. There is also an elevator in between staircases A and B. The auditorium has 5 entrance doors tagged door 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These doors also serve as exit doors 1 to 5 respectively. On entrance into the auditorium, the stage is located on the left. The auditorium is divided into 2 major sections, Section 1 and Section 2. There are 6 aisles in the auditorium for ease of movement. On the rear of the auditorium is the door leading into the control room. Please note that the seats in the auditorium are numbered alphabetically in rows. For your convenience, there are male and female toilet facilities slightly ahead of staircase B. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please do not panic. Kindly adhere to the following instructions. Those seated on the stage and rows A to G are to exit the auditorium through exit doors 1 and 2. Turn right and use staircase A to the ground floor. Exit the building and move to Master Point A by the security post ahead of the parking area. Those seated on rows H to M are to exit the auditorium using exit door 3. Use staircase B to the ground floor and exit the building onto muster point A by the security post. Furthermore, those seated on rows N to W and personnel in the control room are to exit the auditorium through exit doors 4 and 5. Turn right and use staircase B to the ground floor. Exit the building and move to muster point B on the right of the rear gate. In the event of power outage during emergency, the exit signs marked on reflective materials will help guide you to the exit doors. Physically challenged persons should be assisted by those seated next to them to evacuate the building through exit doors 1 or 2. Please do not make use of the elevator during emergencies. Exit the building using the staircase only. Should you forget any items, please do not go back to the building. Your safety is first. Please note, there is no scheduled fire drill at this time. Thank you for your attention and remain safe.
Can I see the coordinator NDCMP, please? Can you step forward? All right. Okay, sir. We'll proceed now. We'd like to set the stage for this meeting with a short video clip on the activities of the NDLA on drug control. Control room, can you play that for us, please? All right, thank you very much. Can we put on the lights, please? Control, can we get the lights back? The Chairman Chief Executive of the NDLA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Maura, retired, CONOFR. Our special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, ably represented by the Director of Prosecution of the Federation, Mr. Mohammed Abubakar, Agency Secretary, Special Advisor, NDCMP, our esteemed invited guests, directors of the agency, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we'd like to appreciate our presence here this morning. Before we take the welcome address by the Chairman Chief Executive, who is the chairman of the IMC, we'd like to recognize the Director, Solicitors Department, Federal Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Gladys Odegbaro. Thank you very much, Madam. We also have a number of IMC members here present this morning. We have representing NDE, that's National Directorate of Employment, Mrs. Obi Miriam, the Deputy Director. We have other IMC members here. We have Ashigabu Innocent, NAFDAC, representing NAFDAC. We also have Moses Agada, representing the DSS. Please note that this is not in any particular order. We're just reading according to the registration. We also have Osage Regina, Federal Minister of Women Affairs. Thank you very much. Lieutenant Colonel O.O. Adanu, representing the Nigerian Army. We also have Obasi F. Akpesiri, representing 9th Post, Mrs. Thank you. We have Daniel Daladi, EFCC. We have Nikoro Doris, Interpol. We also have Salma H, that's Nigerian Correctional Service. We have Aliyu B, also Nigerian Correctional Service. Adakwole Ogwola, NACA. We have Jimmy, Ministry of Information. Glory Anthony, Ministry of Information also. Ogbaide AA, Ministry of Youth Development. Mokhtar Dahaltu, NCS. Kutemi Idris, NIS. We also have Aluko Kolade, NIPOST. LP Ugubani, ONSA. Yusuf Mustafa, MFA. We have Captain O.R. Oshagu, Nigerian Navy. We have Lawa Babafemi. All right, thank you very much for helping out. We have Damian Nze, Civil Defense Corps. Okereke CP, Federal Ministry of Education. We also have Emuze Helen, NAPTIP. All right. If perhaps there's any other member of IMC, but that's those that are registered, would also like to appreciate and acknowledge Brigadier General. Yes, sir. Okay. Those that, if we perhaps we omitted or we didn't mention your name, can you kindly stand for recognition? All right, meaning that we all been recognized. Thank you very much. Put our hands together for yourself, please. We can't but acknowledge and appreciate the presence of the owners of this facility, who is being represented here by Brigadier General J.N. Garba, Director, Army War College, who is representing the Commandant of the Army War College. Please, let's put our hands together for him. All right, thank you very much. At this point, I'll most humbly invite the chairman of the IMC and chief executive of NDLA, Brigadier General M.B. Mara, retired CONOFR, to deliver his welcome address.
Special guest of honor today, Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, ably represented by the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, our worthy partner, the UNODC country rep, ably represented by Mr. Ibanga, the agency secretary, my colleagues from the NDLEA, it is a pleasure for me to welcome first our special guest of honor, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, ably represented here, and all our esteemed special guests, as well as all the distinguished participants to the first meeting of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Drug Control for the year 2025. I would like to acknowledge the members of the IMC representing various ministries, departments, and agencies of government and other stakeholder groups present at this important gathering. Allow me to use this opportunity to commend each of you for your unwavering dedication in discharging your duties as esteemed members of this laudable committee. This meeting is of great significance as it marks the 5th year of the implementation of the National Drug Control Master Plan, NDCMP 2021 to 2025, signifying its conclusion and setting the stage for the development of the next edition of the National Action Plan. The effective coordination exhibited by the IMC and the spirit of cooperation that has consistently guided this committee are highly commendable. Moreover, the genuine collaboration you have all invested in achieving the goals outlined in the NDCMP deserves our sincere appreciation. One of the key items on our agenda is the adoption of the 2023 and 2024 NDCMP annual monitoring reports. The 2023 is a bit delayed because the inputs did not arrive in time from members. But at least we have the 2024 together. We'll adopt them later today. In this regard, I wish to express my gratitude to the committee members who submitted reports detailing their activities for the year 2023 and 2024 thereby ensuring that Nigeria's drug control efforts are comprehensively captured and adequately represented. It is also pertinent to acknowledge the significant contributions of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime to our work. Thank you very much indeed. The UN ODC has supported numerous initiatives during the lifespan of the NDCMP 2021 to 2025. As part of today's proceedings, members will be expected to engage in broad deliberations on the progress achieved in implementing the NDCMP in 2024, and more importantly, to consider the conclusive actions required to ensure the successful conclusion of the NDCMP 2021-2025, this being the last year. At this juncture, allow me to present an overview of key activities and milestones recorded by the NDLEA in the year 2024. Generally speaking, after assessing major programs implemented across the strategic pillars in 2023 and 2024, I can confirm that we have collectively made commendable progress on the fourth National Action Plan in comparison with previous iterations. Under the supply reduction pillar, our operational efforts and strategic offensives led to the arrest of 31,334 drug offenders, of whom 6,839 were convicted. We also recorded the seizure of over 4 million kilograms of assorted illicit drugs and undertook the destruction of 426.4 hectares of cannabis farms. Now, you watch the short clip, and you can see the desperation with people, which people are engaging for money. I was telling a special guest of honor that just a few days ago, we arrested 2 would-be pilgrims going to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj, but embedded in their stomachs, cocaine, swallowed. They're going to pray to God, and already they are swallowing to go and sell. We've had incidents of people who have been deceived. Even now, we have a case of 3 women 2 years ago who were deceived with Hajj. Some people offered to pay for their Hajj, the tickets, visa, everything. And before they left, they brought a small bag and said, please, when you get there, there are some things here for you to give one of our relatives. But they have sewn cocaine under the bag, and they were caught in Medina, the airport, Saudi Arabia. So far, they've been prosecuted and given 25 years. But fortunately, we were able to arrest the perpetrators here in Nigeria. And so the matter is still unfinished. When I went to sign the MOU with my counterparts in Riyadh a few months ago, I drew attention to their fate. But we've arrested the perpetrators. Those women are innocent, and the matter is still ongoing. So you have this type of desperation from these people. Under the drug demand reduction strategic pillar, we provided counseling and rehabilitation services to over 19,000 individuals. By accelerating our wider sensitization activities across states, local government areas, wards, and communities, we have been able to intentionally disseminate awareness of the dangers of drug abuse to diverse population groups. This has in turn fostered a sense of shared ownership and collective commitment in the national effort to curb substance abuse, trafficking, and proliferation across the country. Regarding Pillar 3, which is access to controlled medicines for medical and scientific purposes, the Memorandum of Understanding between NDLEA and NAFDAC was finalized and signed. And the MOU facilitated the sharing of intelligence, infrastructure, and expertise to enhance operational efficiency, safeguard public health, and ensure community safety. Under the governance and coordination pillar, various strategic activities were conducted to enhance visibility and ensure effective communication on the NDCMP. These included high-level advocacy visits to key stakeholders at both state and national levels, and the utilization of traditional and social media platforms to disseminate intentional messaging. I trust that every week you see what we statements that we send out and video clips and so on to keep everyone informed of the activities in all spheres of the NDCMP. My management team and I personally undertook many of these engagements. Internationally, we have fostered and sustained collaborations that have enhanced global cooperation, forged strong partnerships, and driven strategic growth in multiple facets of drug control. We are working very effectively with the United States, United Kingdom, France, India, several other countries, Saudi Arabia, and in the past, Nigerians on arrival in foreign airports automatically, so you see the Nigerian passport, they just step aside because they're going through suspicion. But this is no longer the case because they appreciate there's a lot of work going on. One day I arrived in Heathrow, and as one of the British border force officers in uniform, British. It's British Nigerian, I found out. And he asked, is that, yes, you know, am I so person? I said, yes. So he was quite full of commendation for the work of the NDLE. He said that before, the flights from Lagos used to arrive Heathrow like 5 or so in the morning, and that they always make sure that he is on duty to receive that flight because he's British Nigerian, and that to meet that flight he has to wake up 1 a.m. every day to meet the flight. But now they allow him to take his normal turn with the others, and he can come to work. No more expectation that every Lagos-bound flight there's something there that's not supposed to be. Now that's a good news, at least, that things are, you know, working. And you have seen recently, up till yesterday or day before yesterday, we signed an MOU with British Home Office International Operations. They've told us that there's a small budget that they help. They don't give cash, of course, but they give us training, equipment, and so on. You saw the shooting there. There's the French that are helping our strike force. On a visit to France, I asked, we visited RADS. That's their topmost anti-terrorist organization. And they train the security officers of the French president. And I just asked them, can you train us? Not expecting a positive response, but they responded positively, and they told us, give us 4 weeks, we are going to be there. We've now had 3 teams from them, and we're expecting another team. So they've been very, very helpful. The Germans, criminal police also helping. They give us the dogs and supports other training activities. So these stakeholders, I think they are happy that things are happening and we are preventing drugs from entering their own countries and so on. So overall, the year 2023 and 24 witnessed tangible outcomes that crystallize the achievements of our established goals. Notably, the drug prevention, treatment, and care training for the spouses of state governors offered a viable platform for first ladies who also serve as chairpersons of the state drug control committees to employ a systems-oriented, community-based approach to address complex drug-related issues across states. We recognize the persistent funding challenges that continue to affect the full implementation of the NDCMP, but we trust that by the grace of God, things will continue to improve budgetary-wise. Again, I welcome you all to the IMC meeting today and wish you all the very successful deliberation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can we join our hands together once again for the chairman of the IMC? Yes, thank you very much. And at this point, we'll move to the next item, and that's a goodwill message from our partner, the UNODC. The country rep, Sheikh Usman Taure, is being represented here this morning by Dr. Akani Ibanga. Dr. Ibanga, it's time to deliver the UNODC goodwill message. Thank you.
Honorable Chairman and Chief Executive, Brigadier General Rabamwa, Honorable Secretary, NDLEA, and honorable guests, members of IMC. I bring greetings from Sheikh. He personally had to rush out of Abuja this morning to Kaduna to represent the resident coordinator of the UN there. His heart is here. If he could split himself in two, he would have been here. The issues of drug and the work of the IMC is something that is very dear to his heart. And he has, on various occasions, said that you should hold him personally responsible and accountable in terms of what he needs to deliver as a person and as an organization, UNODC, to the country. So I bring you greetings from him. And I want to say it's a great honor for us to have this meeting of the IMC. Notably, it is the committee that has continued to keep things running within the country and to keep drugs in the forefront of what we need to do to address the issues that we face as a country. Nigeria, as we know, stands at the crossroads of public health and security sector when it comes to the drug response. And the urgency of the mission that we have today cannot be overstated. Drug use, as we know, is associated with various things, from health to safety to productivity to cohesion and, in fact, to how we respond at the level of our community. I think as we gather, we must be guided by both data, and I'm glad how the chairman has, detailed the responses that have gone on in the different sectors, both in terms of supply reduction, demand reduction, and when it has to do with access to pain and medications. And I think that where we have a country where at least 3 million people are said to be suffering from drug use disorder, when we did this calculation, and you have 39.5 million in the world, that means we're contributing 7.5% to that data as a country. That's worrisome. And it calls for us to continue in this last leg of implementing the NDCMP to ensure that we are able to follow through with all the commitments that drug control master plan has laid out for us to do, that we may address these issues that we face. Your Excellencies, this committee holds a very strategic position. I think as we were introduced in terms of the people present here, it represents a very broad spectrum of governance from health, justice, education, finance, youth, women, interior, and more. And so this collaboration is very symbolic, and it speaks to our ability to galvanize our efforts to address the issues. And it speaks to a collaboration which we now have. MOUs are being written, which didn't used to exist before, not just within the organizations, but also with international bodies. And that's commendable. And it shows the efforts that we have been making is actually yielding results. And I want, on that note, to continue to encourage us to keep this in our forefront in our different MDAs, to find ways of budgeting, ways of releasing money, ways of engaging that will continue to yield these results. And I wish this meeting, as usual, will not be one of those talk shows, but we'll leave with actionable points that we can go back to implement. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. Akani Ibanga, representing the country rep of UNODC in Nigeria. Can we put our hands together for him once again, please? Now we have come to the high point of this opening ceremony, and now most humbly invite our special guest of honor, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Olasunkami Fagbemi, SCN, ably represented here by the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Mr. Mohammed Abubakar, to deliver the keynote address.
The Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, CON OFR, the Agency Secretary, Mr. Haruna Shadrack, Directors of the agency here present, members of the IMC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice is unable to be here this morning due to demands of urgent state matters. He sends his apologies. I represent him and I shall read his remarks. It is with great honor that I stand before you today as we gather to address one of the most pressing challenges facing our dear nation, the scourge of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking. Let me begin by specially recognizing the Chairman and CEO of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, CON OFR, our distinguished UNODC country representative, the ECOWAS Commissioner, and all esteemed members of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Drug Control. The reality we face is sobering. The National Drug Use Survey and living experiences have revealed that Nigeria has a high prevalence of drug abuse. These crises affect every aspect of our society, from public health, national security, family stability to economic productivity. The projection of the UNODC report, which states that over 40% increase will be recorded in drug prevalence by 2030 in Africa, is worrisome, as Nigeria has one of the highest youthful population in the world. Nigeria's comprehensive and coordinated approach to tackling her complex drug problems through the National Drug Control Master Plan emphasizes the importance of integrated multidisciplinary efforts involving diverse MDAs, other critical stakeholders, and CSOs. This blueprint addresses drug cultivation, production, trafficking, and use, focusing on the 4 strategic pillars, which aim to disrupt drug trafficking, reduce drug demand and harm, ensure access to controlled medicine for genuine patients and research, and improve coordination and evidence-based decision-making. In the past 4 years, we have witnessed unprecedented effort by the NDLEA. These achievements include arrests and seizures, convictions, elaborate evidence-based drug demand reduction interventions using the war against drug abuse social advocacy platform to sensitize communities on the dangers of drug abuse. Consistent gains have been recorded within the global space by fostering international cooperation and building strong partnerships. NDLEA has sustained the fight with renewed energy and vigor, giving hope to the once hopeless situation. We deeply appreciate the excellent support of our international and regional partners, the EU, UNODC, and ECOWAS. The Federal Ministry of Justice has worked together with the NDLEA to ensure that our national legal system effectively supports the drug control effort of the agency. We are at the last lap of finalizing the amendment of the NDLEA Act, which will significantly enhance the organizational capability of the agency to control the menace of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking in Nigeria. The ministry is also providing appropriate support in the area of proceeds of crime management, essential to dismantling the financial networks of drug traffickers. I must also acknowledge the vital contribution of our other law enforcement agencies, including the Nigerian Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, DSS, EFCC, NSDC, NCS, and NAFDAC, whose collaboration has been instrumental in these successes. The work of this Inter-Ministerial Committee has been crucial in coordinating a whole-of-government approach to this top border issue. By bringing together critical stakeholders, we have been able to develop and implement more comprehensive and balanced strategies, applying collaborative spirit, which the NDCMP promotes. I particularly commend the state governments that have established their own drug control committees and the civil society organizations working tirelessly at the community levels to ensure more holistic outcomes. As we look ahead, several key priorities demand our attention. We must expand prevention programs to address the root causes of drug abuse, targeting the youth, women, the vulnerable, and marginalized persons in communities. As committed stakeholders, we must ensure that provisions to access, treatment, and rehabilitations are put in place for those who need the services. We should consider alternatives to incarceration for minor drug offenses, focusing instead on rehabilitation. Finally, let us leave this meeting with renewed commitment to protecting our youth, securing our communities, and building a healthier, safer Nigeria for generations to come. The commitment made by the NDLEA, the IMC, and other stakeholders holds the promise for a drug-free Nigeria. Thank you, and may God bless our collective efforts and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, our special guest of honor, for the keynote address. This is where we draw the curtain on the opening ceremony. Now, the Chairman Chief Executive, who is the Chairman of IMC, will now lead the high table, where this side of the table or the divide, and those on the front row to to the photo stand outside for photo, and then from there we'll go to the same dignitaries will go to the restaurant at the ground floor for tea break, while others will have theirs. That's with the IMC members, please. While others supporting the personnel around will have theirs outside of the building. All right. Thank you very much. Would like to see us back in another 30 minutes.